The construct, it's incredible. It's large, it's massive.
Wow. But the key piece of data is yet to come. We're all keenly interested in the dendral results on the question mark shaft, and that could lead us just about it.
For more than 2 centuries, Oak Island has consumed dreams, fortunes, and entire lifetimes. But tonight, everything changes. A sealed chamber has finally been opened, and what's inside isn't treasure. It's something far more unsettling. A direct challenge to everything we think we know about history. A structure so ancient and so unbelievably advanced that by all logic, it shouldn't even exist. If you're ready to step into the shadows of a secret that has waited centuries to be uncovered, stay with us, because this discovery doesn't just rewrite the story of Oak Island, it changes everything. This time, the team didn't find coins or jewels. They uncovered a message, one that was intentionally buried and protected by layers of carefully designed traps built by people who clearly knew exactly what they were doing. And here's the part no one expected. Instead of solving the mystery, this discovery has opened the door to something even more disturbing: a stone doorway. After years of uncovering Spanish coins, medieval artifacts, and ancient wooden platforms, this is the find that has Rick and Marty Lagina shaken. Decades of drilling, digging, and hard-earned disappointment have made them cautious. But this discovery has reignited something. Rick sees patterns forming, as if every strange artifact they've found is finally connecting, snapping into place as part of a much larger design. Marty, ever the practical thinker, is focused on the engineering, the reinforced timber, the layered stone, the precision of it all. Whoever built this wasn't hiding scraps or debris. They were protecting something of serious importance, something that may have mattered on a global scale. If the Portuguese were responsible for constructing the ancient stone road in the swamp, then this chamber could be the key to understanding the entire operation. This wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. It was masterfully planned and built to last for centuries, maybe forever. The breakthrough came on the eastern edge of the swamp, an area previous searchers had dismissed as unimportant. But the Laginas have never trusted old assumptions. They've long believed the island itself is designed to mislead, a giant puzzle meant to confuse anyone trying to uncover its secrets. This time, the discovery wasn't luck. It was technology. Advanced radar imaging revealed shapes and outlines beneath the surface, clear signs of something artificial. Then came the drilling. Narrow shafts were lowered with surgical precision. When the probe camera finally descended into the darkness, it confirmed the impossible. Solid stone walls, carefully stacked rock layers, timber beams untouched by water. The structure wasn't just ancient, it was perfectly preserved. Decades ago, this would have sounded unbelievable. But now, the evidence is undeniable. Drill after drill cut deeper, peeling back layers of time. Preserved wood emerged, hand-laid stone appeared, and nearly 80 feet down, after a sharp turn westward, the drill struck something unmistakable. Not bedrock, not debris, a wall. And not just any wall. A flawlessly smooth granite surface streaked with mineral veins not found anywhere else on Oak Island. Embedded in it were hand-forged iron fasteners, rusted by centuries. This was intentional. This was advanced engineering. They had reached the outer shell of the chamber. Then something unexpected happened. A low vibration began beneath their feet. At first it was faint, almost unnoticeable. Then it grew stronger. The ground seemed to hum. One surface sensor went silent. Another started flickering. Pressure readings spiked along the southern dig line. The team froze as the data surged. Something below them was shifting. For the first time, the island didn't just feel ancient. It felt alive. But they couldn't turn back. What started as a single tunnel has now revealed something far more complex, a full underground system. Radar sweeps and probe cameras show branching corridors, angled passageways, slopes, and curved sections resembling a labyrinth. This isn't just a tunnel, it's a carefully engineered network. For years, the idea of a massive underground grid beneath Oak Island was dismissed as speculation. Now it appears to be real. The emerging map reveals perfect angles, parallel shafts, and repeating measurements. Clear signs of design, not nature. These structures were likely built to hide or protect something significant. That's when an old theory resurfaces: the Knights Templar. For decades, Oak Island has been linked to the legendary order said to have fled Europe with priceless relics. Some historians have pointed toward the Atlantic, suggesting their journey may have led to Nova Scotia. Ancient maps, coded documents, and French artifacts discovered on the island have hinted at this possibility. It once sounded far-fetched, but a multi-level, precision-cut tunnel system is anything but random. And that leads to one of the island's most chilling theories: the false floor trap. Legend says that somewhere beneath Oak Island lies a hidden floor, possibly positioned above the main chamber. If triggered, it could collapse instantly, destroying whatever lies beneath. Instead of revealing history, it would erase it. A booby trap designed with ruthless brilliance, turning the island into a self-defending vault. Recent ground imaging has revealed two distinct floor levels inside the suspected chamber. Natural caves don't form like that. Sonar scans detected dense material above a hollow space, and beneath that, another jagged cavity. It could be a false floor, but no one is willing to risk triggering it. Excavation was halted immediately. Instead, sonar scans were conducted from multiple angles. The results were even more unsettling. Metal objects, not modern, not large, but deliberately placed, were detected near the chamber walls. Possibly hinges, possibly structural supports. Definitely intentional. If the trap theory is correct, this chamber was never meant to be opened. It was designed to collapse the moment anyone got too close. And Oak Island has a long history of resisting discovery. Since the 1700s, every major attempt to uncover its treasure has ended in disaster: cave-ins, sudden flooding, and artifacts disappearing without explanation. It's almost as if the island protects its secrets. Meanwhile, above ground, another discovery adds to the mystery: a flat, patterned stone pathway near the swamp, resembling an ancient road. Piece by piece, the puzzle is coming together. But instead of answers, each breakthrough seems to raise a darker question. Was this island hiding treasure? Or was it hiding the truth? When Gary Drayton swept his metal detector over the stone pathway, strong iron signals echoed from beneath the rocks. What if this wasn't a road at all? What if it was a cover, carefully placed to hide machinery or structures below? Every new clue pointed in the same direction. Someone with enormous power, knowledge, and resources built something remarkable on Oak Island, and they did it a very long time ago. On Lot 5, an area that had remained largely unexplored for years, Gary's detector suddenly went wild. He started digging and uncovered a bronze hammered coin. It was roughly 500 years old. The green patina was unmistakable. His hands were shaking. Here's what makes that discovery so significant. Hammered coins stopped circulating in Europe after the 1400s. So when the team pulled that coin from Oak Island soil, they weren't just holding an old object. They were holding something that predates the supposed creation of the money pit. And that wasn't even the most shocking find. Later, another coin surfaced. This one copper. Experts believed it might have Roman or Byzantine origins. When laboratory testing was completed, the results stunned everyone. The coin dated somewhere between 300 BCE and 600 CE. Take a moment to consider that. A coin from the Roman era, nearly 2,000 years old, discovered on a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia. Metal analysis revealed a silver arsenic composition consistent with early European minting techniques from before 500 CE. With that single result, the timeline of who could have reached Oak Island was suddenly thrown wide open. This discovery connected directly to another major find: a cobblestone roadway buried in the swamp. The stones matched, almost perfectly, the construction style of ancient Roman roads in Portugal, a region historically linked to the Knights Templar. The pieces weren't just unusual anymore, they were ancient. Then came the horseshoe. Near the stone path, the team uncovered a small, hand-forged horseshoe. An expert examined it and immediately identified it as early 15th century, around the 1400s. That makes it roughly 600 years old. According to the specialist, it may be the oldest piece of metal ever recovered from the swamp, possibly even older in usage context than the Roman coin. He stated plainly that it was the oldest horseshoe he had ever examined. That single artifact opened up a possibility few had seriously considered. A horse arriving on Oak Island aboard a large ship centuries before any documented European explorers officially set foot in North America. For years, theories about early visitors were dismissed as speculation. Now, there was physical evidence. A Roman-era coin. A 500-year-old hammered coin. A 600-year-old horseshoe. Clearly, someone had been there. And the clues weren't limited to metal objects. Stone carvings began to surface, symbols etched into rock. One carving showed a circle within a cross, nearly identical to symbols found in 12th century Templar fortresses in Portugal. Another carving depicted a goose, a mark historically associated with medieval stonemasons who worked for the Knights Templar. It functioned as a kind of signature, a way to signal their presence. These weren't random scratches. They appeared deliberate, with a Roman-era artifact, a centuries-old horseshoe, and symbols linked to the Templars carved into the island itself. Oak Island was no longer whispering hints. It was practically shouting. And these discoveries weren't isolated. Together, they formed a trail. This wasn't just an excavation anymore. It felt like an awakening. After the granite wall began vibrating, the team pulled back. Then something eerie happened. Not a collapse, not an explosion, but silence. A thick, heavy silence, as if the island itself was holding its breath. Then the wall shifted. Ancient iron fasteners gave way. The granite surface cracked, and part of the barrier fell inward. Behind it was pure darkness, a perfectly shaped void that didn't look natural. They lowered cameras into the opening before anyone stepped closer. What the footage revealed defied expectations. The chamber was intact and undisturbed, roughly 20 by 30 feet in size. It had a domed ceiling supported by massive timber beams, darkened by age. The walls were precisely carved and lined with alcoves. Inside those alcoves were objects, but not gold or pirate treasure. Something far more unusual. Sealed scroll tubes, dozens of them, closed with wax. Heavy wooden chests reinforced with iron bands, too large for a small crew to move easily. Cloth-wrapped bundles that crackled under the camera's light. And at the center of the chamber stood a single stone pedestal. On top of it rested a square object encased in what appeared to be thick, ancient glass. The camera zoomed in. It looked like a manuscript. The pages were faded, the binding fragile and brittle, far too delicate to handle without proper preservation. Its age was undeniable. Beside it sat a ceremonial metal artifact shaped like a cross, but not a typical Christian design. The style and markings suggested something older, possibly Phoenician or North African in origin. If that interpretation is correct, the implications are enormous. It could suggest a pre-Columbian presence in North America, a group with advanced knowledge and a secret so important they constructed an underground fortress to safeguard it. Rick stared at the monitor in disbelief. Marty paced the room, fists clenched. This wasn't treasure. It was an archive, a hidden library of human history, a time capsule buried beneath layers of engineering and deception. They had found the chamber. They had seen what was inside, but truly opening it, removing the artifacts, posed serious risks. The fragile items could crumble the moment they were exposed. The chamber itself could collapse if its structural balance shifted even slightly. And if any of the suspected traps were still active, one wrong move could destroy everything. So the team made one of the hardest decisions of their lives. They sealed the entrance, for now. World-class archaeologists and preservation experts are being brought in because what lies inside that chamber doesn't belong to Oak Island alone. It belongs to the world. The chamber has been discovered, but the real mystery is only just beginning. What secrets are hidden inside that fragile manuscript? Who designed the underground vault? And is this truly the work of the Knights Templar, or something far older? What happened next is something the crew will never forget. After sealing the chamber, the island seemed to react. The wind suddenly died down. Birds that had been circling overhead disappeared. Even the air felt heavier, almost charged, like something ancient had taken notice. For the first time, Rick said out loud what others had only whispered. Maybe they weren't uncovering the island at all. Maybe the island was choosing to reveal itself, piece by piece, and only when it was ready. That night, the team gathered in the war room. Screens glowed with images of the manuscript, the wax-sealed scroll tubes, the ceremonial artifact, and the strange glass-like casing protecting the square object on the pedestal. Every expert they contacted had the same reaction. Confusion, then disbelief, followed by a quiet sense of awe. Whatever they had found wasn't just historically important, it was unique. It looked like a carefully preserved collection of knowledge, hidden somewhere no empire, no king, and no conqueror could ever reach. Then came the deeper questions. Who would have the skill, time, and motivation to build a chamber capable of surviving centuries of flooding, violent storms, shifting earth, and repeated human attempts to break in? Throughout history, certain groups have protected knowledge: scribes, monks, explorers, even exiled scholars. But very few had the resources to engineer an underground vault more advanced than many modern structures. The Knights Templar are always the first suspects when Oak Island is involved, but some of the artifacts inside the chamber appear to predate the Templars by centuries. A few even seem older than Rome itself. That realization led to a chilling possibility. What if the Templars weren't the original builders, but only the most recent guardians? One expert suggested that the structure resembled ancient Mediterranean memory chambers, hidden repositories designed to preserve knowledge during times of war and societal collapse. Only fragments of such vaults have ever been discovered. Most are believed to have been lost forever. But if one somehow survived, if one crossed the ocean long before recorded transatlantic voyages, then Oak Island isn't just important. It's a historical anomaly, something that shouldn't exist. The team studied reconstruction models of the tunnels, chambers, false floors, trap systems, and layered stone and timber supports. The engineering was undeniable. This wasn't improvised. It was planned with precision. Someone drafted blueprints. Someone supervised construction. Someone tested every drainage system, every trap, every structural reinforcement. This wasn't a treasure vault. It was more like an intellectual ark, a safeguard for knowledge too valuable to risk losing. The kind of place people would die to protect, and possibly kill to keep secret. Then came another unsettling discovery. While scanning the surrounding bedrock for weaknesses, equipment detected faint metallic patterns embedded just outside the chamber. When the imaging was enhanced, it revealed thin metal strips arranged like ribs, curving around the chamber in a perfect arc. The design didn't match any known trap system. It looked more like reinforcement, but not the kind medieval builders typically used. The metal resembled early alloy compositions, more commonly associated with naval construction or ceremonial structures, not underground chambers. Even stranger, the strips had been hammered into grooves deliberately carved into the stone. Whoever built this didn't just construct a chamber, they armored it. That realization shook the team. It suggested the builders anticipated something catastrophic: flooding, collapse, natural disaster, even invasion. They expected the chamber to endure long after they were gone. If they went to such extraordinary lengths, then the manuscript might contain information that isn't just historical, but potentially powerful. Maps, symbols, lost languages, forbidden knowledge. Theories that challenge everything we think we understand about ancient civilizations. And the island wasn't finished surprising them. Further scans revealed that the discovered chamber may only be the first layer. Deeper underground, radar picked up another cavity. Smaller, less reinforced, but clearly artificial. A second chamber. The idea electrified the team, but it also raised the risk dramatically. One wrong drill in the wrong location could trigger a collapse or flood the entire network instantly. Still, the lower chamber was there. Speculation spread quickly. Was the upper chamber a decoy? Were the scrolls and artifacts placed above to distract future explorers from something even more significant below? Many ancient cultures constructed false tombs, beautifully crafted chambers filled with impressive objects designed to mislead grave robbers. If Oak Island's builders followed the same strategy, then whatever lies beneath could be the true purpose of the island. But why bury something that deep? Why build a labyrinth so complex it's nearly impossible to navigate? One researcher pointed out something unsettling. The symbol carved into the stone near the swamp, a circle with a central point. In ancient cultures, it often represented the sun, but it also symbolized a hidden core, a protected center, a secret within a secret. That same symbol appeared again near the chamber entrance, almost like a warning, or perhaps a guide. Maybe they weren't hiding treasure at all. Maybe they were hiding truth. As dawn approached, the team realized they were standing at the edge of a mystery far greater than the legend of buried gold. The treasure story might be the smallest part of it. Oak Island may not simply be a vault. It may be a message. A message from people who crossed oceans before recorded history says they could. People who built underground structures with engineering knowledge that seems far ahead of its time. People who brought something to this island and buried it so deeply that the world wouldn't uncover it for centuries. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think lies beneath Oak Island? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery, be sure to subscribe to the Timefold channel and don't forget to like the video.